Welcome, listeners, to Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour, hosted by Rene Bravo and Bryan Quevedo. If you are a new listener of the show, please follow us on our socials on Instagram at Keepin' With The Nerds and Twitter at Keepin' With Nerd. Our podcasts are recorded in Whittier, California, and are posted on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts every Wednesday at 11:30. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Just press the recording.
I did already, but you
Go.
always yell at me when I do it.
Go. You're starting. You guys are very terrible. Come on, let's go. Jesus. As producer, I demand you to start talking and make funny.
Make with the funny.
Make with the funny. Chop, chop.
I feel like that's like some like overweight dude. Just like he's just eating something and he's like watching a stage and like make with the funny.
You know what? Before, when we first started, I felt like we've evolved, because it's essentially been like, we used to just start recording and you used to just surprise me, like, oh yeah, we're recording. Yeah. And you just get me on these random rants. Now at this point, I don't even care. So it's like, as soon as you just say like, oh, we're recording, I just say like, whatever happens, like whatever. I'm just gonna say whatever bothers me at this point, whatever's in my mind.
Did something bother you?
No, actually, yeah. Speaking of that, so I was looking through Facebook to talk about like what we can talk about. We got our topics for today.
Yes.
But essentially, there was an IGN article that came out 7 hours ago, and I don't know why Facebook like filters things the way it does for me. This came out 7 hours ago, and it was a review for episode 5, and I'm looking at it.
A Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yeah,
okay.
And I'm like confused and slightly peeved off of this, because they gave it a 7 out of 10.
IGN?
Yeah.
Didn't they give the last episode 9?
Yes, so here's the reason why. A lack of development in the Falcon and Winter Soldier's plot at this late stage feels like poor pacing and maybe a sign it will struggle with its finale, even if it succeeds in being a thoughtful examination of the MCU's best sidekicks. The Falcon and Winter Soldier slams on the story brakes for its penultimate episode, allowing for an examination of central protagonists' journey with the level of depth they deserve. 7 out of 10. Here's my issue with this. It's like, you're not allowed, because oh my God.
See, this is why I hate when websites or people review episode by episode.
Sure, but don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have, your take on certain things.
Yeah.
But sometimes it feels like when they write stuff, they really want to be different than what everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
And this is what that felt like. I should have sent you an article a couple days ago. I think it was GameSpot that came out with an article. I forget who wrote it, but I know this one pissed me off too. This guy that was writing it basically said that Space Jam 2 would inevitably fail in a way because it relies way too much on nostalgia. And at what point are movies going to stop using elements like that and be more original? I think that's kind of how it was worded.
I think I saw that one. And I kind of agree with that, especially with.
Did you read the article?
I don't think I read it, but I think I was looking at it, and then I was kind of like, when it got to that point, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel.
Yeah, the guy sounded pretentious. No, I'm not even joking.
But I do see what he means when it comes to the whole throwing nostalgia at you.
Sure.
Where, I mean, I think we got a peak of that at Ready Player One, where basically it was nothing but filled with like homages and also like little things that obviously you had to be a kid for around in the late 80s or early 90s and stuff like that.
But Ready Player One was good.
No, it was good. But that's what I'm saying is like, it looks like Space Jam 2 is trying to still be successful using that element for its own movie, where we already had the movie like that.
I think, wasn't that last week that I made that exact point?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm almost positive I made that exact point.
Where like, Warner Brothers is still cashing in on that whole nostalgia thing.
Yeah, where they literally had exactly the same like shot of the DeLorean with the Iron Giant running behind it.
That was another thing too, Iron Giant. I think that's what really kind of like makes people mad is like okay, we had Iron Giant already, like stop trying to cash in on Iron Giant.
So after we had that episode, after we recorded that episode over the weekend, I watched Ready
trailer?
Player One again.
Oh, Ready Player One. Okay.
And I forgot how much I love that movie.
The movie's so good.
It's so great. And I was rewatching it again, and I completely forgot that there's so much like 80s love
Yeah.
that the DeLorean has Kit's red lights in the
Yes.
front.
Yeah.
And I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah.
And I told my fiance, I'm like, oh, I did I tell you that was like a thing? She's like, yeah, you told me like several times when we first watched the movie. I'm like, well, because I freaking love it. I've always loved movie cars. Movie cars are my thing.
Yeah.
You know, Kit from Knight Rider, the DeLorean, Starchy and Huss, the is it like a Challenger? I think it is. With the orange, it's the orange and the flag, which we will not speak of.
No, that's Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of
Hazard.
Hazzard. So then, which one is
That's
That's not Starsky and Hutch.
That's the General Lee.
The General Lee is what was it? Is Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard. My bad.
Yeah.
That one. And then the Batmobiles, obviously. Come on.
Yeah, Batmobiles.
Come on. Yeah. Who doesn't love the Batmobiles?
Yes.
And Wonder Woman's invisible jet, which we
That
got to see in
just
the movie.
always looks amazing.
All right, so we got a really packed episode for
They say
today.
it's very marvelous.
Change of pace for once.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
No-
just as a point of reference, it's a Ford Gran Torino.
that's what it was?
It's a Ford Gran Torino for Starsky and Hutch.
For Starsky and Hutch. Oh, it's a Gran
Gotcha.
Torino. Oh,
Yeah, it's a
okay.
Gran Torino. It's a red Gran Torino.
Thank you. Thank
With,
you for the
like,
clarification.
White, with like white, like not racing stripes, but it's kind of like I don't know. They're like
It's got like
it's like a white streak.
It's more of a white accent mark.
Yeah,
white,
you go.
white accent lines.
Yeah. All right.
We ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Hello, citizens! Welcome to Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour, coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California. Aiming to be Whittier's #1 podcast of all things nerdy, I'm your host, Rene.
And this is Bryan. And
Welcome to the
the
show. I'm sorry. I was
You
kind
were
of
just
I was literally in a trance.
It's okay. We all been there.
So, just a quick little, little kind of explanation of what's going on over here. So, if you have not listened to issue, was it 43?
43.
Excellent.
This is 44.
This is
Issue
44.
44.
Wow.
Gonna hit that 45.
And almost to 50. So,
We're middle age.
Yes. We should be having a midlife crisis by
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
hopefully not. Hopefully, I mean, we've been doing so well with this. Come on.
This is where it throws out its hip.
Yeah. So if you have not listened to issue 43, we had a big announcement. Pretty much we are expanding, not in terms of recording space, but in terms of how we are branding our entire project. Because, as you know, for our longtime listeners, you guys already know our journey and how we started this and where we want to head to. But if you're new to this, we have basically had this, dream of making this into something, not necessarily like profitable or anything. That's, a hope. But we want to grow this as much as we can. And we decided to expand our team and bring in Nick Valero, who will be our producer for today.
Yeah, I keep interjecting, and I shouldn't be because they yelled at me first before we started.
Yeah.
We don't yell at you. Why would you yell at you?
You guys
I
keep
yelled at
bringing
him.
guns into the room, and I'm very scared. I don't understand why.
They shouldn't really scare you if you keep doing your job, okay?
So pretty
And
much,
you haven't given me an answer if they're loaded. You haven't given me the answer.
Just keep doing what you're doing. We'll find out.
So pretty much the way that we're going to keep running this podcast, it's going to still be a two-man show. It'll change up between Rene and I, or Rene and Nick, or Nick and I, however it's going to be, right? But because we have added an extra person, now we have the benefit of having a producer who will be managing the information as we keep going, helping with time management. And, if we need some more content while the show's going, that's the job of the producer.
Yeah.
So Nick will be overwatching everything. And, every couple of times he'll interject and stuff like that. But you're still going to have a two-man show with the exception of next week, because next week is going to be a pretty big episode.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'll announce that at the end.
Yeah.
But yes, so the show is going to basically run with two people, like it's always been the last 43 issues, but with a producer now who will help us out. So just keep your eyes and ears open, guys. And now because we have a third person, I have to start changing up the thumbnails.
Yes.
Because on the thumbnails that I have on YouTube, it's basically like, how it's like a comic book cover format.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little behind the scenes for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how we make thumbnails.
Oh, I'm the one.
This is how Bryan makes a thumbnail.
Well, on the thumbnails, it says, my name and Bryan's name on it now.
Yeah, and so because you were introduced in issue 43, it says Rene Bravo, Bryan Quevedo, and Nick Valero on there.
Oh, so do I have to take a bunch of like goofy photos now so that way I can be put at the bottom of thumbnails?
On the video thumbnails.
On the video.
Oh, no, actually, yes.
Yeah, we need to do it
We need to do that before we leave.
after we record.
we need to take a whole bunch of goofy photos of me
Yeah,
just
we do.
pointing at stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like a
pointing at
crazy
stuff,
person.
Whatever.
Like a crazy person.
Do the Home Alone.
Macaulay Culkin. By the way, speaking of Macaulay Culkin.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so biggest.
So I found out about this too. My girlfriend was like, I was like, wait, what? She goes, did you know about this?
All the news that we had on the docket, and you guys went with Macaulay Culkin first?
That's how we do it on this show. Brian,
Like,
go
you
ahead.
guys went with Macaulay
Yeah.
Culkin.
So it was weird because I didn't know. No one knew this was a thing, right? You said you didn't know.
I didn't know at all.
Okay. So I found this out, I think it was like Monday or Tuesday,
Yeah.
because one of my coworkers was like, what? Macaulay Culkin or whatever, how you pronounce
yeah.
his name, and Brenda Songs had a baby
If you
together?
guys don't know Brenda Song, she was is still famous, but was
Sweet Life of Zack
known,
and Cody.
was known on Disney Channel on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and also Wendy Wu, the Homecoming Warrior. So-
Yeah. She's London Tipton.
Yes.
That was her role that she
Yeah.
was most famous for.
Yeah.
And then she was. What's it? After that, huh? That was it.
I'll hit you up with that.
Okay.
Because I wasn't expecting Macaulay Culkin to be the first thing we went on.
Already. All right. Got this ready. Getting the Clay Culkin. Well.
No,
I didn't even think you were going to touch it.
Oh, don't start dropping things.
Sorry, I had
As
to
we-
switch over the computer to Nick because he is the technical producer
Yeah, for today.
for today.
So,
I don't
yeah,
have
it
no
was like
computer.
a weird bit, right?
Yeah.
That she was just like, that they completely
Hold on,
announced
this is
it.
really weird. I have no computer now, and I'm like looking at like I have to
You
look
get
at
to
you.
interact with
I have
me
to
more.
interact with you and lock eyes.
This is a different thing for us. Just
Go
like
ahead.
the world wasn't ready for Brenda Songs and Macaulay Culkin to
That was a
show
good
off a
segue. I
kid,
love
right?
it. Yeah.
No, but it was weird, was it not?
Yeah, it was weird.
Like
Very
the
weird.
announcement just came out. I think that people knew that they were dating,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think anyone paid attention to it until they like formally announced it. and
Basically,
stuff.
yeah. I
And-
think I remember hearing about them dating, and it just went over my head. Mm-hmm. And then now it's like, oh, we have a kid now. What?
Basically, I was reading the ghost right in front of me.
He's like, what?
What? No, but it was like super weird.
It was
right?
weird. It was weird.
Good for them, honestly.
Hey, yeah.
Good for them because,
You
I mean,
know.
there been some like controversy with Macaulay Culkin.
So Macaulay Culkin has been through some crap, you
Yeah.
know, both dealing with his family and stuff like that at an early age. You know, he was legally emancipated from his parents and stuff. He also dealt with like, I want to say drugs. I don't.
Well, that was
know.
because they stole all of his money.
Yeah.
there it is. Okay.
Yeah, they stole all of his money.
But then wasn't he also into drugs as well too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah.
hardcore. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, also if you take into the fact that he was a child
He
star,
was a child star, yeah, in
they
the
all
80s.
they all kind of turn out bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
But yeah, so that's the thing. And then, you know, he dealt with that. I think he also dated Mia Kunis. From
Mila Kunis?
Yeah, from that 70s show. They dated for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Was it?
So-
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Brenda Song, she started in a TV show called Thunder Alley. She started showing up in Phil of the Future. She did a lot of stuff in Disney for a while, like Disney Channel stars, A Dream and the Wish, Your Heart Makes. She was in American Dragon, apparently.
Oh, so she voiced.
She voices a cheerleader named Tracy in American Dragon.
American
And Wendy Wu,
Dragon.
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She didn't do a whole lot between the two. Actually, you know what? She's had pretty.
I was gonna say, I think
She's been
had,
busy.
like, TV roles.
She's actually been busy. She does like a lot of like little tiny roles. She has like 1 or 2 slots for every year. So
Okay.
she's been busy. The latest thing she's been doing though is Amphibia. It's TV shorts. It's a TV
okay.
short.
Okay.
And then Love Accidentally is in post production, so it should be coming out next year.
Oh,
Go for
yeah.
it.
So that's pretty interesting that she's been keeping busy
Yeah.
all this time, you know.
No, it's great,
I know.
honestly.
Yeah, she hasn't had the success that she did when she was on like Disney Channel. But the thing is that she is keeping like these like shorts and stuff like that. Like she's having her for like 3 or 4 years. So I mean, it's a solid career.
Cool.
Solid career.
All right. So enough of that. I don't know why. Why did I start
That
talking
just-
about Macaulay Culkin?
Because we were, oh man.
Because you're weird?
No, it was like something abruptly happened and we're thinking of, oh man, I have to listen back to this episode now.
Completely threw me off.
It really did too.
I don't know why. It's like he just came up to my head. I was like,
Why
yeah,
did you
sure.
talk about Macaulay Culkin?
No, I'm being
okay,
serious.
moving forward.
I'm being serious. As producer, you literally just looked at him and went, Macaulay Culkin.
I'm
That
gonna
is
laugh.
what happened.
I'm gonna
That
laugh
is
if that's
what
how.
happened.
Literally, we just brought in Macaulay Culkin.
I think it just astounded me. Like I'm still like in shock about that news when I found out.
Because we talked about what bothers you, and
That's
then
what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He legitimately just went, like he had a brain blast to Macaulay Culkin.
all right,
That's
well,
this
let's
podcast
move
for you right
forward.
there. All right, so pretty much we are straying away from Warner Brothers
Yes.
because we had it in the last like 5 weeks or so.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they came out with King Kong versus Godzilla, then they came out with just
Space Jam trailer,
Space Jam
Mortal
trailer.
Kombat trailer.
Oh, the Zack Snyder
cut.
Yeah, Zack Snyder cut. So they've been taking over this podcast for a few months now.
But Rene, we're going back. Rene, we're going to the Marvel Cinematic Universe again. Why? Why are we going back, Rene? We totally left Disney
I
behind.
know, and we did the Falcon and Winter Soldier video already
So why are we going back?
because basically Sony Pictures and Marvel
Okay.
have both announced, not announced, but they've already announced it, but basically they came out with an article that both what's his name? Alfred
Molina.
has said that he is coming back as his character from Doc Ock, the 2004 Spider-Man movie, as Doc Ock in the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah.
That's okay. So we already knew this news because I think we spoke about it in one of our previous issues.
Yeah, he was just the actor was confirmed to be a Doc Ock.
Yes, we didn't know which one,
Yeah.
and then Jamie Foxx was also confirmed to be Electro, and then we were just assuming that he was going to be Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man movies with what's his name?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. No, not Tom.
Oh, with Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield. So that was confirmed, or not confirmed, but that was like what was led to be assumed. And then today, as of recording on Friday, there was an article that came out by Variety where they were interviewing him, and he himself confirmed that yes, he is going to be playing a Doc Ock from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe. Why is that big news? Because it's finally confirmed and we can start piecing things together left and right. We can kind of get a little bit of an assumption of what might be going on over here and probably head into the right direction. When I told you this piece of news, you were confident in saying like, yeah, no, totally. Like we kind of understand now what might happen and all this other stuff. But keep in mind, when Marvel records and, when they do their production, they keep everything under wraps.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yes. So, do you want to start off with this? Like, what are your thoughts on him confirming this?
I think because we mentioned this a little bit before when we came in today. And I think I said that like, oh yeah, basically, they're confirming that like villains are in it, but they still have yet to confirm Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield in it. That could be because they want to keep that as a surprise, which is fair to assume, and that's a fair thing that 9 times out of 10 that's what they're doing. But I said, well, what if they're just doing the villains and nothing else? That we're just getting basically the villains in here.
Okay. So I came in and kind of like not shut down that idea because it's not a terrible idea, but it basically said that because of that interview where he simply said this Doc Ock is going to take place, or he's, like we said, the Sam Raimi film from Spider-Man 2, his story is going to leave off right after he falls into the river. Because the Variety article basically said that, well, he's dead, right? So how's he supposed to come back?
Yeah.
His response to that was like, I mean, does anyone really die in this universe? So it's his story right after he fell in the river, assuming that he died from there, right? So if they were just bringing in the characters, like the villains, like you said, and these guys were just going to play villains from the respective movies, but they weren't necessarily from those universes, sure, but I don't see that fitting, especially with the way this interview went. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I was just thinking about those scenes with both Electro and Doc Ock right now. They can have it where like maybe Peter from Tom Holland's Peter maybe finds a way to like open portals in different dimensions or something like that. So like something happened on his end, and then basically when we see they could reshoot basically Doc Ock falling in that river, a portal opens right behind him and sucks him in, right?
Well, we already know that Benedict Cumberbatch's character is in this movie as well.
Yeah.
That he signed off and said, yes, I will be at No Way Home on this, as Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is this idea that the multiverse exists, right? This brings into question, though, like, why are they going to have just these specific villains but not anything else? Why so? It's weird, right? That they're only bringing in Doc Ock and Electro.
Also, and then I mean, like those are the ones that they're willingly to confirm. That's another thing as well too.
Disney's good at hiding things. That's the thing that I feel like a lot of people forget.
Yeah.
So, what about if instead of that, because they did say they were going to be bringing in the interview, he does say that they go back and they are going to make him younger. And everything like that, because he said he was wearing the dots and everything like that.
The dots. I have not seen that movie in forever. Oh, that's
no,
right.
the CGI dots.
The CGI dots to make him younger.
Yeah.
So that's what they were saying. So what about if a portal opens in the middle of the fight? So
The
essentially,
end fight.
So essentially, what you're getting is instead of him dying, it's him getting like in the middle of the fight.
During that time,
During that time, Doc Ock gets sucked in through a portal with Peter, and it's like, oh shit! Now we're in a different universe. What do we do now?
You also have to bring into consideration that there was a third movie right after that one. So if you're taking a character away from the second one and then saying, okay, he's coming into this one, are we just going to ignore the fact that Spider-Man 3 was a thing?
Yes.
Would
So
you want
technically-
to?
Yeah.
Because
I mean-
Sam Raimi has said on record that he wished the Spider-Man universe would continue. He said it before. He wanted a Spider-Man 4. They just didn't allow him to have it because Spider-Man 3 wasn't as successful as like the
They
other
thought
two.
it was-
And the studio said, you know what, we're not totally going to do this anymore.
Well, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man actually did become true because that was with the Vulture. That was supposed to be the main villain.
Yeah.
Was the Vulture?
In Spider-Man 4?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it was supposed to open actually also with
the Rhino.
Mysterio, wasn't it?
It was supposed to be
Bruce Campbell was
It was
supposed
supposed to be Bruce Campbell as Mysterio,
Yeah.
and then the main villain was going to be the Vulture, and I think Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to introduce the Rhino.
This is starting to kind of... I kind of have a feeling that the way Disney's approaching this in terms of... Should we say Disney or should we say Sony? Because
I think
who's
it could be both.
Both?
Yeah.
See, you know what? Let me look up how exactly they're distributing.
Well,
Okay.
that's see the order because I know there's also because we have the Doctor Strange movie, and that's being directed by Sam Raimi. So I'm trying to figure out what movie comes first, and they're wrapping up filming, as we'll talk about later.
Do you think
week.
this is done on purpose?
I
All the
think-
information
Absolutely.
that's coming out, so that way people are having. But people are smart on the internet. They're able to
Yeah.
piece things together. Because
Because they
this shouldn't shock me.
did they
that you
stop?
said
Yeah. Well, sorry. Did they stop filming for? Are they finished filming for Spider-Man? Or are they still filming? that?
they're filming for it.
I thought it was post-production right now. Like they're doing like a lot of like action scenes and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
they'd already finished up a lot of
Okay,
different
okay.
stuff. It was a lot more stunt work.
So I think Spider-Man's supposed to. So if that's the case, Spider-Man's supposed to come out first, then Doctor Strange.
Okay,
right?
let me say this, okay? Because the fact that you said Sam Raimi is directing, did he direct the original Doctor Strange movie?
No, that
No.
was someone else.
Okay, so here, why is that shocking to me? I should have heard about this.
Yeah. That
That means
happened
I'm
a
not being
while ago.
attentive.
Yeah, you're not.
No.
That happened a while ago.
Yeah, that the Multiverse of Madness movie is being directed by Sam
Sam
Raimi.
Raimi. Yeah.
The same director that did the other Spider-Man
Yes,
movie.
yeah.
The one that are highly regarded now because all of a sudden
So
our nostalgia is making us love those movies.
so there could be also that way of bringing in Doc Ock as well too, because that was actually wasn't that Sam Raimi's favorite movie to direct was the Doc Ock movie.
the second one?
The second one,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one's like highly regarded as the better Spider-Man movie out of the three.
Yeah.
The director of what was it? Of Doctor Strange 1 was Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson.
He's the one that did Sinister 2, Deliver Us from Evil, Devil's Knot, Sinister, The Day the Earth Stood Still. So he has like a huge portfolio of like horror.
Okay.
What about Sam Raimi's record?
Sam Raimi?
Well, he did Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness.
Yeah, he has like a lot of.
Drag Me to Hell.
And they said that the second Doctor Strange movie is going to be
weird.
a lot
yeah.
darker.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's more of a horror, is what it's so weird
No,
because all these
I think-
pieces of information are just kind of like all over the place.
Well, the thing is that when they had first said that they were going to be making Doctor Strange, they said that it was going to be a horror film. That was in the very beginning.
Oh, really?
At San Diego Comic-Con. Then a year later, when they started doing the marketing, they were just like, it has scary elements. It's not a horror film.
For the second or first one?
For the first one. And in this one, I think they were just kind of going more with those trippy kind of vibes and everything like that. Because Sam Raimi...
I did remember hearing they said, Madness of something.
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness is going to be very weird.
Mhm.
I know that.
Okay. Can we start to piece together things here?
Yeah.
Because a lot of this information is very, very strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Sam Raimi directing the Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
We have Alfred confirming in an interview that he is essentially playing Doc Ock from the second Spider-Man movie. This is his confirmation saying that this is him, right? And then we get teases left and right from Disney saying that No Way Home is going to be a third movie of the Tom Holland Spider-Man. But it's kind of like all over the place with the way that they announced the title.
Yeah.
And then
do you want his quote? Do you want his quote of what he said about the movie?
Please.
He
Yeah,
said,
go ahead.
when we were shooting it, we were all under orders not to talk about it because it was supposed to be some great big secret, Molina says, with a laugh during the interview. Promises the young woman, but it's all over the internet. I actually described myself as the worst kept secret in Hollywood.
I don't buy that.
I don't
buy that.
Here's my thing though.
Yeah.
If they would yell at the Hulk for messing up at a premiere,
Yeah.
how much trouble do you think Alfred Molina would get in for just saying
Just confirming. that
just
he's in it.
confirming.
Yeah.
Why would they allow him to have an interview?
Was he promoting?
What I think he's promoting something else.
Yeah.
Let me make sure.
I mean, obviously, you're gonna have a person
first invited?
if he's promoting something now. But the thing is, you hear rumors. You're gonna have an interviewer mention of future projects. That's what they kept doing for Ben Affleck when he did Batman versus Superman and then Justice League. Moving forward, he was doing another movie called something the Night or something like that.
He was promoting a movie called Promising Young Woman.
He's in that movie.
Yeah, that was why Alfred Molina on the first time he read Promising Young Woman.
Oh, wow.
That's what he was promoting when Vanity Fair talked to him.
So regardless of it, this is a written article. It still has to get okayed from
Marvel.
Yeah, and they allowed this to be okayed. This is
Wait, how long ago was that interview though? If it was
this
for
came
a
out today, I think.
No, but if that's the thing. If he did this interview, Promising Young Woman's been out for a little bit. So there could have been a time where they did this the interview and they had to hold it for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So then why release the information now?
Because I guess it's closer to wrapping up. And then I think they've seen that fans are now putting pieces together.
That still doesn't make any sense, though.
That's Disney or Marvel for you. It's like,
it's just the timing does not feel. Something's weird about this, is what I'm saying.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why this article. It feels weird that he's doing that for Promising Young Woman. Like I said, that movie's been out for a month now.
That doesn't matter.
Really?
If it's only been out for a month, I mean, not only that, but I mean, not only has it been out for a month, but I mean, getting like traffic and having interviews, like that doesn't just last the first couple of weeks. Like that could lead into like a month. Not only that, but also with COVID, it like you would want people continuously doing interviews to remind people that it's in the movie theater.
Well, when they do that, because I've noticed that when they do interviews for, they did it for like WandaVision or Falcon Winter Soldier and stuff like that. It's all like Zoom calls and stuff. And I noticed that whenever those interviews come out, they're still wearing the same thing because it's all taken in one day. They're doing like multiple different interviews.
Oh yeah, no, it's not like a 20-minute thing. No, that's like hours.
Yeah,
like, you're doing
hours in
all
one day, and they're still sitting there like, like.
Yeah, ask any actor. That's like the worst. That's like the worst part.
Especially during COVID, that sucks, dude.
You're just sitting at your desk, just doing nothing.
Yeah, just being asked the same mundane questions over and over again.
All right, Rene, give me your best prediction as to what's happening here, because we're getting to me, it kind of feels like at this point, Marvel has played with us in phases 1, 2, and 3 with like misinformation and just not releasing anything. And even the actors have said that some of the stuff that they film, it's not the scenes that they think that they're filming. You know, I forget who quoted it, but essentially they said that the funeral scene for for Iron Man, they thought it was a wedding. And it wasn't. It was the funeral, right? So now we're getting this kind of like, we're getting little bits and pieces of information coming out little by little. Where do you think this is headed? Because we also had the Loki trailer come out with more information, and Black Widow's coming out. I think like a couple, July, a couple months from now.
So that's the thing. To predict how this movie's going to be, we also have to remember how the last movie ended, where Peter Parker had his identity revealed by Mysterio. Yeah. So that's the thing, and I'm trying to, with all these different characters that are mentioned or rumored to be in and stuff like that, it's hard to pinpoint how this movie's gonna be, because I don't know if they're gonna like dwell on the whole Peter Parker has his identity exposed, because it seems like that's gonna be like a first act kind of thing, and it's just they're gonna write that off right away, and then we're gonna get into something else because we have these different characters, which I kind of think. I'm kind of getting a little bit more scared about this movie because it feels like it might have too much in it.
Too many elements.
Too many elements, and that's what always hurts a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, you're right, because Spider-Man 3 was the Venom symbiote, and then they had Sandman in there.
Yeah, and then Harry Osborn's Goblin.
Yeah, and that's why that movie failed. Not failed, but it didn't
sit do well.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing with that is Sam Raimi didn't want to do it.
Oh, that's
he didn't want Goblin, and he also didn't want Venom. Those are the two things that he didn't want.
He just wanted Sandman.
He just wanted Sandman. That was it. Because that's why if you ever watch Spider-Man 3, Sandman has like such a great, and it's a beautiful character arc, and then it just feels like Green Goblin and Venom are just kind of rushed. Like you just go and they're
because I know that it was the studio that was pushing a new Goblin. And then the fans technically did want a Venom in it.
Yes.
But the studio was like, well, the fans want this as well, too. So if there's any way that you can implement Venom in it,
they put their hands in something that they shouldn't have, essentially.
Yes. But the studio was pushing, like, no, we have to have a new Goblin. Like, put in a new Goblin in this one.
So now that you've said that, basically you feel like this movie is going to have too many elements in there, you kind of feel, I kind of want to scratch this point a little bit more, that they're just going to be using Doc Ock as like a one piece at the beginning and throw him away, and Jamie Foxx will come in and then be thrown away.
That could be it too. That could be like where there's just, again, they're just capitalizing on these characters just appearing, and then fans just coming in and see it and stuff, and just being like, oh, okay. And then like obviously or maybe like Doc Ock comes in, and then next thing you know, Electro comes in, and then by the beginning or second half of the movie, we'll have Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland like meet each other.
Okay, let me throw an idea out for you. Okay, so remember, I think it is the scenes in Rogue One where they used like certain scenes of pilots in the X-wings from the original movie to just kind of like place in because the actors just couldn't act those scenes anymore. Okay, so let me throw this idea out. What if they're slowly developing a kind of like Sinister Six, right? By bringing in Electro, by bringing in Doc Ock. What if we don't know if Jake Gyllenhaal probably signed up on here?
That's another
right,
thing
and
too,
he's reprising his role as Mysterio towards the end, essentially.
Yeah,
where he's saying like, he's in jail, he's incarcerated. Or no, because he died. Oh, we think he died.
Yeah.
But he's not actually dead. Plus, Mysterio can be played by anyone else, right? Because they're taking his technology, essentially, at the end of the Far From Home.
Vulture's still alive because it's Michael Keaton.
And he's just in jail.
Yeah, he's just in jail. And then also they were not hinting, but they implemented Scorpion in here as well, too.
Sinister Six.
It could be just they
that's
formed...
Sinister Six
that's
setup.
the thing. That could be how they're bringing in Sinister Six. Okay, it's like, okay, well, we don't want to bring in a new Doc Ock. Let's just bring in everyone's favorite Doc Ock.
Now, do you want to spend that money to keep recreating? Oh, but I mean, they could just use Sinister Six for one movie and then throw them away afterwards.
That's it, and that's something that Sony has been pushing for so long is a Sinister Six movie.
So let's keep on with this idea. They are making a Sinister Six. We have Mysterio, we have Doc Ock, we have Electro, we have Vulture, and we have Scorpion. Who's your six? Kraven the Hunter. Oh, how much fun would it be?
It could be Mysterio again, because Mysterio's been played by multiple people in the comic books.
I already said Mysterio, didn't I?
Did
Mysterio,
you?
Doc Ock, Electro,
Uh-huh.
Scorpion, and Vulture.
Kraven the Hunter, and only because the set photos they released were in some sort of temple.
Oh, that's right.
They could be teasing it. That's a wild idea. I mean, my predictions tend to be always wrong.
But that's the thing. Well, I guess...
So because Andrew said it, we know it's not right. We know that's not right.
Yeah.
We immediately know that's not right.
What were you going to say, Rene?
So, but that's the thing. It's like, they would... I feel like, because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, wouldn't they have announced Kraven? But I guess they want to keep that under wraps. But isn't that a character that you would want to show, like, oh, look, we have
How much
Kraven.
cooler would it be if he just popped up?
I guess.
Like, here's the thing. You got to keep in mind, because we've also complained over the fact that when they tease something and we get super hyped, that was our main point the last couple of times we talked about Spider-Man. We don't want this to be a hyped up project so that when we sit in the theaters to watch it, we end up being disappointed. Our expectation is set up so high, and then when we don't get the things that we want, it ends up going lower.
That's true.
Right? So we want to make sure that we're having low expectations. Wouldn't it make sense for the studios to essentially say, like, okay, we're probably setting up a Sinister Six, right? Because we named 5 of them so far. They introduce another villain, and it could be maybe Kraven the Hunter, but they didn't have to. They don't announce it. It's just a kept secret, so that way, when you are in the theater and you
it's
do
revealed
see,
to be like, okay, Kraven, and then also the Sinister Six.
Bingo.
As well too. So they're getting 2 reveals in one movie.
exactly. Now, to go back on that point where I was saying that they were using the images of, like, former pilots of the X-Wings in Rogue One because they couldn't get the actors and stuff like that. What if they just used, like, different, I don't know, some sort of scenes from, like, Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man movies to put in Andrew Garfield and why am I forgetting his name?
Andrew Garfield and
Tom Holland?
Wait, are you talking about the other
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
why am I forgetting his name?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, thank you.
Oh my God.
Gosh dang it, I swear, I'm being thrown off today. But if they use or scenes from those movies to just bring him in here and just, mix it in.
Yeah.
For Rogue One, it was outtakes and unused scenes.
It could be the same thing for that.
That's how they did for Rogue One.
Plus, Sam Raimi is now contracted by Marvel because he's directing Multiverse of Madness. Wouldn't it make sense that if he had access to those scenes that, they would ask permission, hey, can we use these unused scenes and put it into here?
Well, I mean, Sam Raimi doesn't really have a choice. It's owned by the studio.
Sure,
Sony would just go, yeah, suck it, Sam.
but again, it's just a weird thing that they are bringing him in for this, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
This is not a bad idea. That's the thing.
But I sense some
No, not that. It's just, I guess, again, it's hyping it for me. I'm just like,
All right.
yeah.
Just so we can get the ball moving
Yeah.
on this one, Brian, best pitch. What's the best pitch for it? What do you think is going to happen?
What do you mean?
Best pitch. What do you think the movie's going to be about? Give me a pitch.
Oh,
All the-
the
all
setup
the-
of the Sinister Six.
All the information you have right now, what's your pitch?
Okay, so find me the details on which movie's coming out first, Doctor Strange or the Spider-Man movie,
Okay.
because that's gonna give. I think it
That's
was
the
the
thing,
Doctor
yeah.
Strange movie.
I think that might come out last.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
if
thing.
it's the Spider-Man movie, then we can kind of go off of what is going to happen with Doctor Strange.
Because I'm feeling that what's going to happen is that we're slowly going to be. I think Loki's going to set it up as well too, where these portals are going to be opening up in different realities.
I don't.
But
think,
the thing is that, and then it bleeds into Spider-Man, where like just random portals of reality are opening up, and then it becomes a big problem in Spider-Man. That's when Doctor Strange comes in, and then by the time Doctor Strange movie happens, it's him basically trying to save reality.
So while Nick's looking this information up,
We
s-
have
real-
to wait to find out, because they haven't really released anything new since last year's San Diego Comic-Con, which was before COVID.
Okay, so with
they're
that
still
information
going
in
off of
mind,
that,
I'm going to say this. Before I give you the pitch, the Loki trailer that came out was a little bit weird because it simply kind of was like, long story short, Time Police are grabbing this Loki who's
and
like
because
a little thing that
yeah.
doesn't exist or something like that,
and
right?
because he took the Tesseract from Avengers 1 and left, it basically ruined the timeline.
Yeah, because this isn't the
Essentially.
Loki that we know. This is a different Loki.
This is a different Loki. This is Avengers 1 Loki.
Yeah, because the original Loki died.
Mhm.
So now this is a different Loki that is on different time strains that
Mm-hmm.
is kind of like a paradox in a way.
Yeah.
And so to me, even though we have Loki coming out first, I don't think he's going to be playing an essential part in this kind of setup for the multiverse.
No, but I think he's gonna be like a stepping stone. But then
It's an introduction.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's why in Spider-Man it starts becoming a problem with these whole portals or these dimension or reality tearing up, and then we're getting these characters.
They're
you know?
they have access
Yeah.
to the different
Yeah.
universes and
And
stuff.
then I
that they
think
can
that's
pull
why
from.
that's why again Doctor Strange comes into play in Spider-Man and then tries to fix it, but then realizes he needs to do something else to essentially close these tears in reality.
So let me throw the pitch, okay?
Really quick, just so that way we have it. It's WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Then they're saying that Mobius is going to be coming out next.
No.
The Mobius movie that's supposed to be coming out with what's his name? Jared Leto.
Is
never
that an
ended up-
MCU confirmed?
Technically, it's been bought because it was by Fox.
Yeah. Oh.
But I mean, you can always add that in the multiverse.
Well, they did have Vulture in that last bit of the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, and it is by... But then they also said that it was going to exist in the same universe as Venom.
But the thing is that it probably takes place in the same universe as Venom. Not only that, but also in the Mobius trailer, you actually did see Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Wait, what?
Yes, you did see Sam Raimi Spider-Man is on a poster in the background of of Mobius.
Oh my God, he's right.
You can see a poster of Sam Raimi
God damn
Spider-Man.
it.
So this is what the lineup is so far. It's WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Technically, it would be Mobius. That's what they're expecting to come out next. Black Widow, then Loki, then Venom 2 has already been like in the works. Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange in the Universe of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther 2, and then Captain Marvel 2.
Okay, so now that I have this information, I had to close my eyes for this because I had to put everything together.
Okay.
And then hold on 1 second,
Yeah.
because mind you, these are projected things because Marvel really hasn't said this is where stuff is kind of landing.
Projections are out the window.
Yeah. So right now it's WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow will be coming out next. Then it's going to be Loki and then the Eternals. Then Shang-Chi. Then Spider-Man 3. Then What If. Then Doctor Strange, Hawkeye, and then Thor: Love and Thunder.
Okay.
So it interchanges with a couple of them and everything like that. But until we get like an actual like this is what Marvel says it is.
Okay. Rene, what were you going to say?
Just really quick timestamp.
Oh, 42.
Cool.
42 minutes. Okay.
That's good. That's good. We're fine. We're fine.
Just want to double check.
Thanks, Rene.
Yeah.
Thanks,
No,
Nick.
I got you. I've been looking at it. If you want to see, this is literally how I've been looking at it.
It feels like it's like we've been talking for a while.
Because it's a
no.
lot of information.
It's a lot of information. I was gonna tell you in 3 minutes before I was so rudely interrupted. Don't you step on my job. I barely got it. Don't you dare jump in.
Okay, so you want my pitch, right?
Yeah, what's
Let's
your
wrap
pitch?
this up because
What's
we
your
do
pitch?
because we have another.
Yeah, that's why.
topic to
That's
talk
why I want to get your pitch and then move on.
about. Okay, so my pitch is this. So now that we've kind of have an idea that Spider-Man is supposed to come out before Doctor Strange, and we're getting all these different things,
Right.
I'm gonna jump with Rene on this and say that yes, Loki will somehow introduce the audience to the concept of the multiverse. It won't play an integral part in explaining how Phase 4 is going to go
No.
about doing so.
Because Marvel doesn't do that.
Exactly, no. But it will set it up so that we are comfortable with the fact that this is going to be the next thing that happens.
Yeah. So by the time they do, use the multiverse, we already kind of have a feeling for it.
Yes. Now, we're going to jump with Morbius here because you brought up some good points, Nick, that they did introduce, the Vulture. He is in this movie, Michael Keaton. This Michael Keaton, Vulture, is in this movie, meaning that there's some sort of integration going on, and we have that Spider-Man from the Sam Raimi universe in there. We're probably going to have a concept, again, similar to Loki, where these universes exist within one another, but they're not going to be setting it up to be useful for the Spider-Man movie. We can throw What If out the window because that's just going to be small little, miniseries that is going to be fun to watch, but doesn't matter to the whole in its entirety.
It's just going to be awesome.
But the Spider-Man 3 movie is essentially going to be the beginning steps to how the multiverse is going to be established into Phase 4.
Yeah.
We're going to run into Tom Holland's Spider-Man trying to figure things out. It was something that might have happened on a school field trip or whatever, because it seems like they're in temples and stuff, and they're going to run into the concept of the multiverse dimensions and stuff. Sorry, I'm boring you, Rene, with this.
This is what happens when we record at 10:30 at night. Don't you jump on him?
But he runs into the multiverse thing. Something happens where the time stream opens or something, and then we have Doc Ock and we have Electro coming in from these respective universes. Something happens where they team up. They grab Mysterio, who, then becomes an integral part and says, great, you know what? We can break the Vulture out of here. We have 5 people.
Yeah.
Sinister Six develops. All of a sudden, we get another introduction of another villain, which might be Kraven the Hunter. And this kind of sets up a need for 2 other Spider-Men to come in, right? In Doctor Strange 2, we might have a better established understanding of what the multiverse is.
Yeah.
He's going to come in and say, like, look, the time strain and the different dimensions and universes that exist in the world have been corrupt because of what happened in Far From Home, or not Far From Home, excuse me. The third Spider-Man movie. What is it called again?
Oh, No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah, No Way Home.
That something happened here and I need to fix it. So it's going to be Doctor Strange and Wanda trying to fix what is going on here. And that might be the Avengers type movie that will kind of end with Phase 4.
Yeah.
Really quick, I don't know if this changes anything about your theory, but Blade is supposed to come out somewhere in there.
So again, it is more of an introduction. Yeah. It doesn't change it at all.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because technically Blade and Mobius would go hand in hand.
Yeah. And then Rene, give me your pitch on this one.
Well, that's the thing. I kind of did, basically, of like how the at least reality aspect of it's gonna happen and stuff. As of movie wise, I kind of agree how you're doing it. Like I see where you're coming from when it comes to like all these characters and how to lay them out and stuff like that. That's why I wasn't really arguing when you were talking about it. So I kind of
normally I do.
Normally I would interject, but this time no, I liked it. So
okay.
Basically, it's like, again, they're gonna establish it in Loki, the multiverse and stuff like that, but not too much. Just enough to like, oh yeah, this is what Loki's doing, and that's how they introduce the multiverse. And then this one, and then in Spider-Man it becomes a problem, and then Doctor Strange has to basically stop it completely in his movie.
Do you think that this might continue on into other movies? Because again, they've also teased Moon Knight. Because they showed Oscar Isaac's fighting choreography. Yeah.
Moon Knight, it was announced. No official date just yet.
That's a show, right?
I believe it is a show. Yeah. Honestly, we'll probably get more information sometime in June, July.
Closer to summer, yeah.
So closer to summer, when they actually when San Diego Comic-Con is actually supposed to be like going on. Most likely they're going to do like a internet thing again.
Kind of like how DC Fandom was.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like DC Fandom and just went like, we're going to have an entire day of just revealing what's going on.
That'd be cool. If they do it that way, that'd be smart. Because DC Fandom really worked out. We liked that a lot, me and Bryan.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah. That was definitely really cool. Last thing for that, I personally think that it's going to be Green Goblin.
Oh, as the sixth member?
Yes.
That would be interesting.
Explain.
So our Green Goblin has been trying to figure out how exactly to make his goblin formula. He has been getting messages from a different universe on how exactly to do this. What you don't know is that when he activates it, it accidentally rips open a couple of holes, sending in our heroes and villains from said universes. Tom Holland, by this point, is people think he's Spider-Man, but nobody has proof that he is Spider-Man. Yes, Mysterio did out him, but technically they didn't show his face in the suit. They didn't do anything like that.
Also, J. Jonah Jameson is a conspiracist.
And J. Jonah Jameson is a conspiracist. So everybody thinks that he's Spider-Man, but he's kind of like holding off and going, I'm not Spider-Man. So he's going to try and hold back. Then new Spider-Men show up. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, how could I be Spider-Man if these people are Spider-Man? And you have an entire thing where it's now trying to put the multiverse back together. Once he meets up with these new Spider-Men, he then goes to go see Doctor Strange, because who would know about the multiverse other than the Sorcerer Supreme? Then he then instructs them, this is how to fix it. Also, he then tells them, hey, what they're doing is ripping everything open. At that point, that is when you find out that the voice that that our Norman Osborn has been talking to is Willem Dafoe.
Now, is this Sam Raimi, or is this
I'm
they
saying-
recasted him in the Tom Holland
I'm saying that we have our own Osborn
in the
and
Tom
he-
Holland
in the
universe.
Tom Holland universe, and he is
Ooh.
talking to Willem Dafoe
Uh-huh.
to then get information from an alternate universe.
Because we do have an Oscorp already
Because
established.
there is an Oscorp already
Did
established.
they establish an Oscorp
They
already?
did say that there is going to be an Oscorp inside the New York skyline. They haven't said what building it's going to be, but the thing is that the building where the Avengers Tower was
Yeah.
is most likely going to be.
Someone bought it, yeah.
But they've been saying that it might be the Baxter Building,
They do have to introduce Fantastic Four in some
because
way.
Baxter Building and also Oscorp need to be somewhere in New York.
In New York now, yeah.
Yeah, so they've been saying that is actually just the Baxter Building.
Fantastic Four, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fantastic Four. And that's how you get that introduced, and then you basically have this menagerie of villains and Tom Holland learning from these veteran Spider-Men and everything like that. And it's going to be one of those like, oh, the only problem that I see from this is that you may get some weird Into the Spider-Verse vibes.
Oh yeah, I think that's what they wanted to do after how Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse became such a big hit that Sony was like, okay, we're gonna try and do a live action version of this. Like,
Yeah, the only problem with trying to do a live action version is that you can't always do everything that you can do in animation.
that's true.
This is why, like, you can never turn an anime live action.
Oh,
Like, you can never do it.
God, man.
Every
If they
single
ever
time somebody-
did a live action My Hero Academia, I don't think it would be good at all.
You know what? That actually might be.
Really?
You literally just make it sky high.
I guess.
You make it sky high
Have
with
Kurt
a lot-
Russell as All Might.
Yeah,
Still.
you literally make it sky high, but with better effects
Okay.
and a bigger budget.
Way bigger budget.
Can I just say that every time we bring up Spider-Man 3, we always just start to have an overload of information that we can't put the pieces together correctly. To me, it always feels like we have a jigsaw puzzle with no picture at all, right? And we're trying to make the pieces fit, but because it doesn't fit, either it's jammed into the piece and it just looks awkward, or we duct tape it to try to make it work. Yeah, it's so much, but it's fun. It's interesting because I now kind of have, there's always this anticipation. My excitement for the movie hasn't left, but my anticipation to see what more pieces of information come out
True.
isn't much higher now.
Yeah.
Because it's teasing a lot of different things. And I feel like Marvel is waiting until summer happens to start releasing more information. We're probably not going to get anything with Black Widow because that movie should have been out last year. But given everything that they're releasing little by little and summer coming out, which is usually time for conventions and stuff, we're probably going to be getting more information. So until then, I would say this probably will go back in the back burner for a bit more, for like 2 months. And then we'll bring it back up again once, I don't know, Jamie Foxx comes out on an interview to like promote some other movie and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm totally confirmed for Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, the interesting thing is that technically, if you go by the timeline, the original timeline said that it was going to be Black Widow, then Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
The original timeline's out.
I know,
thrown
but
out.
but if you
Because
if
of
you,
Corona.
because of coronavirus and everything like that. But if you look at it, WandaVision was supposed to be just before Doctor Strange in the universe, or which are the Multiverse of Madness. So it was immediately supposed to leap into that storyline. Like the after
that's right.
scene.
Yeah, because I remember Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to come out first.
It was supposed to come out after Black Widow.
Yeah.
So, and I think the reason being is because one thing that did happen inside of Black Widow was, in Falcon and Winter Soldier, is that we did meet inside the comic book. She's known as Madam Hydra.
Yeah.
The rumor is that she's actually in Black Widow. And so you would have already met that character along with the Thunderbolts. You would have already been introduced to these characters going into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then you kind of understood, oh, this is where the state of the world is after Black Widow.
Production for Marvel and Disney have been working overtime to try to make things work because, and you know what? I'm glad it's like this because there's now more of a mystery. Like nothing is pretty much planned out and we're left to just kind of like wait, because if there was some sort of preparation and like, hey, you know what, this character is going to be here and this character is going to be there because this movie already came out, so on and so forth, we probably we probably wouldn't be as excited for the Disney Plus series, but because WandaVision started out first and we got that mysterious atmosphere from that, and now Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there's more anticipation and appreciation for the things that are going to be coming out next. Because even Loki is super mysterious at this point. We're just assuming what's going to happen, right? Do you have any last second thoughts, Rene?
No, I'm pretty good from
All
here.
right.
We talked about it enough that I feel like we can move on now.
That's it.
The other interesting thing is that Loki was actually supposed to be after Doctor Strange.
Oh, and it's coming out before.
And it's coming out before that.
Brian's like, damn it.
God, I just don't want to look at another timeline. That's ridiculous. No.
If you look at the original one, it's pretty wonky. It's pretty wonky now.
So next week, we're going to have an issue completely dedicated. We're going back to Warner Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Because Mortal Kombat is finally coming out.
Yes.
So.
And not just me and Brian, but also Nick is coming with us to see it as well, too.
Yes.
They told me if I didn't go that they would pour popcorn down my pants.
Why do you always say that we threaten you? We're nice people.
They only say that online. That's it. Like, they're actually very mean. I didn't actually want to do this. They just do things.
So just a quick reminder, if you guys want to watch us in our adventure of seeing Mortal Kombat, just follow our Instagram. We'll be posting stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen how many times Rene has murdered Brian?
Yeah, actually, no, like twice.
Okay, first of all, you come up with the script.
I do.
So what does that say about you?
Says a lot.
So pretty much before we wrap this up,
Absolutely.
I've been trying to get you to watch Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge.
Yes.
And you finally watched it after like months of me telling you.
I guess because like it was on HBO Max, and I'm just like, I was like, okay, I'm taking a break from rewatching Doctor Who, and I'm just like, okay, so what else? And I'm like,
Did you say rewatching?
Yeah, rewatching Doctor Who. I'm watching from the beginning so I can get into the new Doctor, the female Doctor now.
I know, but you should always watch stuff that's new, not rewatch.
I always rewatch before because I like to have it fresh in my mind again.
Oh no, like I totally get you rewatching to get into the other Doctor, but
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. No, but I mean like Scorpion. Come on, man. It's only an hour and a half.
Well, that's the thing.
Take a break.
And I just was like, you know what? And I forgot how short it was, and I was just like, oh, you know what? I'll watch it. I'll finally buckle down and I watched it, and I actually really did enjoy it.
It's good, right?
It was actually really good. The one thing I have to critique is that they give freaking Sub-Zero the shaft in that movie. Like,
okay, so I get what you mean.
yeah.
I get what you mean.
As
but
of like actually Sub-Zero wise.
So let me explain. We talked about this before we started recording because you had like questions as like, okay, well, they're like, it kind of doesn't feel like they're putting a lot of focus in Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat movie, but then it kind of seems like he is because he was an essential character. When it comes to the timeline of Mortal Kombat, point, simple, it's a complicated mess. Like it's almost non-existent at that point, right? So I get what you mean. It's like, oh, well, Sub-Zero was just kind of thrown out there. I can't remember if in Scorpion's Revenge it's actually the original Sub-Zero or if it's the brother, because the original Sub-Zero dies at the hand of Scorpion.
And what's Sub-Zero, the original Sub-Zero's name?
Oh, you got me there.
Isn't it something like Lin Kuan?
Our producer's looking it up right now.
Lin Kuan or something?
No, the Lin Kuei and the Shirai Ryu are clan names.
Oh, they're clan names. Okay.
Yeah. So the Shirai Ryu is Scorpion's clan, and the Lin Kuei is Sub-Zero. And the Lin Kuei, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like I am. I haven't seen this in so long.
Obviously, so in the beginning of this, in this Mortal Kombat movie, you have Sub-Zero, I'm putting air quotes, Sub-Zero killing Scorpion's clan and family.
Family, most important. That has been canon since the beginning of time in terms of Mortal Kombat.
So I knew that was a thing that Sub-Zero actually did. But but then they changed it up in this one because they said that Quan Chi was the one that was acting as Sub-Zero.
So as of Mortal Kombat 4, that has been lore.
Yes.
Okay. So that's actually happened.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me explain to you the general timeline, and I'll try to make this as simple as possible for audience as well. Okay. This is like the cookie cutter.
Because so if you guys don't know, I'm not too into the Mortal Kombat stuff. I just know of the characters.
Yes.
I don't know the lore. I've only played like Mortal Kombat. So the Mortal Kombat games I played was Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the N64, and then Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, Mortal Kombat Deception, and Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
They're not bad. Those aren't the bad ones. They're
no,
pretty good.
those ones have like what I liked about it is that those ones had the like essential arc going forward.
You want to know something about those games that you played?
They're not relevant anymore.
They're technically not. so when it comes to like the timeline of Mortal Kombat and like the general story of it is you got Yellow Ninja, who basically has his entire clan and family killed off by Blue Ninja Clan, and this leads him, he dies essentially. Yellow Ninja dies, Scorpion dies. Okay, he dies, he gets into the Netherrealm. Quan Chi essentially says, Quan Chi, what was up, Nick?
Really quick, so Scorpion's name is Hanzo Sasashi.
Yes, but we're not going to use that name.
So Hanzo Sasashi, and then the actual Sub-Zero is the original Sub-Zero. He's supposed to be the Grandmaster
in Scorpion's Revenge.
Yes. He's supposed to be the original Sub-Zero.
So Scorpion goes to the Netherrealm. Quan Chi says, "Look, you want revenge on this person that killed your family? Great, but you have to do my work." He comes back to basically real life with the name Scorpion, and that's how he gets his iconic mask and flame powers and stuff.
Another realm powers.
Exactly. So throughout the entire Mortal Kombat tournament that we know exists, the main one, the 10th one, that Outer Realm essentially has to win in order to take over Earth Realm.
That's run by Shang Tsung.
Yes, Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Throughout this entire tournament, Scorpion goes after Sub-Zero, who doesn't know why. He's just fighting for his life because the Sub-Zero that killed the Shirai Ryu
was Quan Chi,
who was just copying, basically pretending to be that Sub-Zero. Scorpion kills this Sub-Zero, and he essentially comes back and he is Hanzo Hasashi again, is like, yes, I did it. But the Sub-Zero, the brother of this Sub-Zero, essentially is like, no, how dare you? I'm going to seek revenge. And he becomes the new Sub-Zero. That's just like basically it. At that point, it's like it's just like all over the place, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense, but it does.
And then that Sub-Zero, the original, who died by the hands of Hanzo Hasashi, then returns back because he makes a deal, and he then becomes Noob Saibot.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. That's why you have. And there's Noob Saibot, who is basically the black ninja. And then there's another one, but he's Smoke. But he's from like a different...
No, he's gray.
Gray, yeah. But technically they kind of look the
they
same
just
in
change
older
the
animation.
colors.
Listen, it's a color palette.
It's a color palette.
Yeah.
It's the same model, but just different colors.
So you loved it but you felt like basically they just kind of like put Sub-Zero to the side, right?
But now that I know
why,
okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've tried explaining this Mortal Kombat story to my fiance back when I really was into this, like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And then I kind of looked it up when Scorpion's Revenge came out again to like refresh my mind. And she's like, what? And I'm like, no, that's exactly what it is.
There's so much.
I feel like you need yarn and like a whiteboard.
Literally that meme where it's the guy just pointing at different
Charlie
things.
Day.
It's Charlie Day just going like, this is Mortal Kombat.
And then, what was it? What were
No,
you gonna say?
I was just going to say, okay, so, but the movie itself overall was actually really good. I liked it. The violence was awesome. I think my favorite standout character was obviously Johnny Cage because he was also voiced by Joe McHale.
I freaking love that. So it's a shame that, we're not going to get a Johnny Cage in this live action movie. because Warner Brothers is promoting the crap out of this movie.
Yeah.
They are going hard on it and doing behind the scenes and
It's
stuff.
interesting how they're promoting it because they're showing off as like Sub-Zero as like the not villain but like the like antagonist almost in a way where Scorpion they're almost mirroring
So again,
from Scorpion's Revenge almost in a way. At least that arc.
that concept has existed in multiple timelines.
Yeah.
So his clan dies a lot, and that's how you get the development of Scorpion and you get the development of Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
So the Sub-Zero that you want to know is the second one.
Yes.
That's why you felt like he's kind of like
I actually forget. Does Scorpion fight for Outer Realm or does he fight for Earth Realm?
neither.
He's just a wild card.
He just wants revenge.
He just wants revenge. This entire thing is he just wants revenge. In Scorpion's Revenge, he technically fights for NetherRealm.
For NetherRealm, but he's not really
Because
doing
I
it.
Or for Outer Realm, excuse
No,
me.
because I think Quan Chi literally says fight for NetherRealm, and then if you can get us the win, then I'll give
Quan
you
Chi
powers.
again is just like a weird person in the sense that he's like fight for Outer World, but you're also just keep in mind you're for me because we're gonna take Shao Kahn's throne away.
Yeah,
because he wants to become Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
We're mentioning all these names, and our audience is probably like, "What the hell? Who
No,
the hell is a
I mean-
Shao Kahn?" And
Honestly,
I mean, obviously, we'll get more into that when we watch the movie.
yes, but you
Hopefully-
loved it.
I loved it.
Okay,
yes.
I'm glad because I've been telling you to watch this.
It's actually really. I've seen it maybe like 3 times in a row now.
have you really?
Yeah, I've watched it one at home, and then I'll just throw it. I watched it twice here at the shop. I just played it over again. I was like, oh, I don't feel like watching anything else. I was like,
it's because it's a good animated movie.
It's a good animated movie. I really liked how they did Scorpion. Now I kind of like Scorpion more in a way now.
well, because you get the story behind it.
Yeah, I also still like. So I have like a list, not a list, but like characters that I've always liked following and stuff. Sub-Zero is obviously one. Scorpion is now on that list. I've always loved Liu Kang. Johnny Cage is now part of that list as well too. Another one I've always enjoyed was also Baraka. I always liked how
Baraka?
just how he looked. and
He was
stuff.
kind of throwaway in this movie.
He was, but I liked. But that's the thing. He's not like a character like Johnny Cage.
He's the best fighter of that species.
that's the thing.
That's why he's in that tournament.
That's why he's there. He's not much of a dialogue character or like a story in general. He's just there along with like Goro and stuff. You know, he's just there just because he's just a known character in the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You know.
So once we're done with this podcast, I'm gonna kind of give you a general idea because now that you're interested, now I'm ready. I'm like, oh yes, let me give you all the information.
We'll do it on the way.
Over to grab food because there's a lot to think about in terms of what to expect from this movie,
especially for the movie.
Yeah, so I'll give you my perspective from this real quick. And you know, like Rene said, once we watch it on Friday, we're gonna have issue 45 be the Mortal Kombat movie and our thoughts on it. But essentially, you know, there's a lot to uncover, and the way Warner Brothers has allowed these teases to happen kind of makes it seem like the producers, whoever's working on it, is respecting
the lore.
the lore and, you know, the source material behind it,
Yeah.
which has been very tough because when it comes to developing content for Mortal Kombat, it always seems to stray away from like its original idea. And I feel like NetherRealm, the studio, NetherRealm, the studio, is the one who produced it originally. They were created by, I think Ed Boon is his name, the original creator. He still works for them, thankfully. And now I feel like he's got this like second wind of like respect for the franchise. And like, yes, we're going to start pumping out content in terms of Mortal Kombat that is respectable and can bring back fans of like the 90s to come forth and be like, yes, this is the stuff that we wanted to see. You know,
What's the recent Mortal Kombat game out right now?
Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay.
So Mortal Kombat 9 was what started out the revived timeline.
Yeah.
And then we had 10 and 11 ends that timeline. And again, we'll talk about it in next week's issue because there's a lot to go over. But essentially that kind of explains why we have so many different iterations of, you know, the story and everything like that. So with this movie, they've also said that they're going to keep in mind the different universes that have existed in terms of Mortal Kombat. Why do you have different iterations and stuff like that? So that's probably one of the reasons why certain characters won't be there. for me, you have, an interest for like, the characters you said, Johnny Cage and Scorpion and Sub-Zero and stuff like that. For me, I've always been Katana. Katana has been my girl since like the 90s. I freaking loved her character development and everything like that. They haven't teased her in this. It doesn't seem like they're going to be bringing her in here. We haven't seen a live action Shao Kahn yet, so we don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Reptile's been teased, but we get Jax and we get Cabal. And those two characters are so much fun to pay attention to in the games. Cabal especially, because he's like that speedster with the mask and he's got those scythes as well. That's so sick to watch. I can't wait for that.
He's basically the Flash with swords.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome.
And then Cole Young.
Yeah.
I keep saying Ashley Cole. That's a soccer player. Cole Young is a newer character, and there's a reason why he's a newer character. I think the director explained that this new character is being brought into it with respect of the timelines that have existed, and there's a reason why. And I'll tell you right now, in the end of Mortal Kombat 11, they explain that the original champion of Earthrealm was not Liu Kang. It was, what's his name? Hat dude. I cannot remember.
Kung Lao.
Thank you. Kung Lao. I knew that, and it just didn't. Man, I'm bad with names today, man.
Yeah, it was Kung Lao.
He was the original champion.
And then he lost.
So then at the end of MK11, in the good ending, once Liu Kang... No, yeah, because there's a bad ending, there's a good ending.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he lost to Goro, right?
Yes. So in the end of MK... Yeah, because he died.
Yes.
In the end of MK11... Once Liu Kang and Raiden fused to become basically their own version of an Elder God, which is like God. Again, sorry, audience, if you guys don't know anything about Mortal Kombat, I sound like a crazy conspiracy person. But an Elder God, he basically becomes like an all-powerful, and he becomes like a ruler and overseer of like timelines and stuff. He revives the timeline, goes back and makes Kung Lao his champion. So there's a lot going on here.
The interesting thing is that I'm curious because they haven't shown Baraka in any of the...
in the painting, he's there.
He is there.
He's teased a little bit, just like Reptile is a little bit. We're assuming that's Reptile. Shao Kahn, big guy with the skull mask and the giant hammer. He's got a statue on there, but we haven't seen a version of him live yet.
The interesting thing is that because there is a Molina. Molina is inside of the in the thing. And
human lady that looks like human.
Well, because technically, if you go with the Molina storyline, she is technically a clone of what's her name?
Katana
and Baraka.
Easy.
Of one of Baraka's one of the Katan horde mixed with Katana. And so if you're gonna introduce Molina, you kind of have to introduce Baraka.
Well, I think there's a lot of characters that they don't want to show just yet. They just because Baraka is not type of a character that would have an arc. He would just be featured in a fight.
Funny enough, in MK11 he does have an arc.
Oh,
he does.
Okay.
He does.
Which is actually really interesting though, because I don't know if you've seen any of the set photos.
Yeah, I've seen some of them.
If you look at Cole, he has this weird armor around his skin now.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, look at it, and he actually has this weird armor that's around his skin now that he wears while he's fighting. And not only that, but also he has protruding blades.
So he's Tarakan.
So they haven't said anything, but from the set photos, as you're seeing him fight, you see what is set up to look like blades coming out of his hand. And stuff like that. So I don't know if he's Tarakan or if he's anything else or if
that's
he's
what a lot of people are saying, that Cole has a hidden origin that we don't know yet.
Because he's got the symbol.
Yeah, he's got the symbol.
I hated the fact they use that as advertisement because the symbol practically means nothing. For him to be born with it, it's okay, so you're using a symbol of a tournament that exists, historically in other realms, and Earth Realmers don't really know about it because. I heard fighters know. It's weird. It's not a good thing to advertise.
I heard somebody say because there's a line where Cole says, it's just a birthmark. No, it's a symbol. And he goes, it is? And he goes, yes, the perfectly circle thing that's on your chest that looks like a dragon. Yes, it is not a birthmark.
It's not a birthmark, bro.
Renee, I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, I want to know your opinion, but I want you to know this. if you thought I was acting crazy with Godzilla versus Kong, just wait.
Okay, then Nick's gonna sit next to you.
Dude, he's gonna like squirm like a foot.
No,
because you can't like.
He's gonna see like.
He's gonna see one thing, and then he's immediately gonna turn and hit me.
He's gonna.
And I'm gonna be very upset.
He's gonna
I'm
see
have a
like just like
bruised
bloody
arm.
moments too. Just like, oh my god! He's just like, yes.
This man's gonna ruin the movie for me, man.
Okay, then we'll have him sit the one seat. We're
gonna come back, and then like he's gonna be going like, guys, didn't you like it? It's like I couldn't hear half of it.
I didn't like when they revealed. I didn't hear because you were like, oh.
You're louder than Dolby Atmos.
Oh god.
I can't help it.
You somehow are louder than the IMAX surround sound.
And then your hand blocked the screen, so I don't know what happened. I'm very confused.
So, real quick, again, I completely forgot about this because this was brought up. Did you watch the short 1 minute fight scene between Sub-Zero and Scorpion that came out today?
No.
Okay, so in that...
I'm trying not to watch it.
Okay,
yeah.
I watched it because I can't help myself.
I know you, yeah.
But do you know, or can you recall that move that Sub-Zero does where he does an ice statue clone of himself?
Yeah.
And then backs up?
Dude,
that's in the movie!
No, bastard.
Okay, sorry. I see that excitement's coming out. Well, that's in the movie because I guess Scorpion throws him into like a cage or something.
Yeah.
And he's about to get up and Scorpion's about to punch him. He like backs up and there's an ice statue of him. I'm like,
that's so cool.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
We're gonna
He also
expect
does
that.
the ice wall too. He does the ice wall move where he like puts an ice wall up and he throws him through.
That's later though, but
Yeah,
that ice statue move has been around since I think MK 1 or 2.
Like that's like 1 or 2, but that's still pretty. I am looking forward to the idea of them actually using their abilities correctly.
Yeah.
Because you did see Liu Kang's. You saw Liu Kang's dragon.
Oh, that was
Because you did
awesome.
see his fire moves, his fire dragon.
Oh, yeah,
you
he's
saw
all
other
like,
things.
and stuff.
All right,
Everything
Rene,
else.
what are you expecting?
I want to see, now that I've seen Scorpion's Revenge, I want to see Scorpion take off his mask or helmet and burn someone with the fire skull head.
Iconic fatality. It's going to be in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I can almost guarantee that.
And then, if anything, I think they're gonna do that whole like Sub-Zero change-up thing or something like that. Like I feel like Sub-Zero is not really Sub-Zero in here.
I mean, they did tease the death of the Shirai Ryu.
That's the thing. So I'm that's why like we might get like a side thing where it's like, oh no, it's actually Quan Chi. You know,
I
stuff
actually
like that.
think that that's going to be an after credit scene.
It could be, yeah.
Because every movie has an after credit scene ever since the Avengers movies came out.
I know. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that this movie is going to have
Well,
an after
obviously,
credit scene. It's
obviously we're
gonna
gonna stay after the credits. You know?
Yeah, but I have a feeling it's going to be like him showing up and like making a deal and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, like I was really behind it.
Yeah.
Like that.
All right.
All right.
We'll see how this goes. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So again, guys, when this episode will premiere this Wednesday of next week.
Mm-hmm.
So that means, this Friday, when this episode's aired, if you guys are listening to it, this Friday we'll be posting what our experience is during the Mortal Kombat, before we go see the Mortal Kombat movie and what we think after.
If you guys check it out, go to our Instagram. We are going to be doing an Instagram live just before the movie starts. You know, getting some like cool features, like maybe us walking in, getting our snackies.
Our snackies.
Giving some quick ideas of what exactly we want, and then maybe just like a quick Instagram live of like what happens at the end.
It's not a bad idea to actually do that.
Yeah, maybe Instagram or Facebook live. So we'll keep you guys posted. Stay in tune. Go ahead and go to the Instagram to make sure that you guys follow, and so that way you can get you can know as soon as we go live with that. Just letting you guys know, it will be late though. It's at 10:30.
So you can find us on Instagram and Twitter. Just look up Keeping Up with the Nerds. Nick has been hard at work at the website. It is almost published and done.
We just gotta finish stuff at our end.
Yeah, it's the worst thing in the world when I send group texts and I just go, all the website needs is text, and they were just like, what do you mean by text? And then I show it,
this.
and then I show it to them, and they're like, "Oh, you mean text? Oh, I get what you mean."
So find us on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
Website will be coming up soon. It'll be keepingupwiththenerds.com, and we will be posting that on our socials when it is going live. We also have a Facebook, so if you currently have a Facebook, if you still have one, look us up, Keeping Up with the Nerds. Like and follow there so you guys can keep posted on everything that goes on. Rene does a great job in the social media department in terms of advertising things when they come up. So hit us a follow over there, give us a like, and share if you guys like what you guys heard over here. We also have a YouTube channel. Go and subscribe. Keeping Up with the Nerds. We're currently at 45 subscribers. We want to keep growing to 50. That is our next goal. Then we're aiming to the moon at 100. But we'll keep growing more. That's what we want. Subscribe to our channel there. We post weekly videos. Right now, we're currently doing the Falcon and the Winter Soldier stuff, but we will be doing more things as we go on. We're working on some shorts, some little skits here and there. Advertisement for the channel will be up soon. I have the video already done. It's going to be in one of the Falcon Winter Soldier videos, so that will be presented there. But yeah, with that said, I think we can go ahead and wrap this issue up, right?
Yes.
All right, it's my turn to wrap it up,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Oh my god, I completely forgot through this whole thing, so now I actually have to
Look.
open this and do this stuff. Got it. Okay, so
Being prepared.
here we go. All right, here we go.
Thank you, citizens, for listening to this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. I'm your host, Bryan.
Rene.
Coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California. Recording at Undercity Comics. We thank you, citizens, once again, and hope to see you all next time.